Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have been called here to teach you valuable knowledge. That valuable knowledge is called a scooter trick. This scooter trick is not any ordinary scooter trick. Nope, this scooter trick is a fantastic scooter trick. Not some situational scooter trick you're just gonna do once in a while. This scooter trick can become a building block that you can build so many more tricks from. So learning this key trick that I'm about to teach you right now is so fundamental, and it will add to your scootering tremendously. This is how to full whip. All right, so most of you guys probably already know what a full whip is. For the ones that are completely lost, I'm just gonna give a quick rundown of what exactly a full whip is. A full whip is a cool scooter trick. Essentially what it is when your scooter makes an entire rotation around you. It's like your scooter is doing a 360, but you are not. You're staying still. Your scooter is doing a full motion, which is why it's called a full whip. If you really want to break down the trick, it's essentially a tail whip and a bar spin at the same time. As you get better and better at full whips, it'll become its own unique trick where it really is just the scooter revolving around itself. The first full whip variation I'm going to teach you is the tail whip variation. When you're first stepping into the full whip world, there's only like 3 tricks you got to know how to do well. And I would say that the first most fundamental trick that you should probably just know for any scooter trick in general is a bunny hop. You should definitely know how to do that. And it's not just as simple as, yeah, I can jump a scooter. Like you gotta know how to do all sorts of different bunny hops. You gotta know how to bunny hop bar. You gotta know how to bunny hop high. You gotta really know how to control your body and your scooter when you're jumping. That is the first fundamental trick. The second and third fundamental tricks that you need to know how to do in learning a full whip is a tail whip and a bar spin. Some people learn bar spins first, some people learn tail whips first, but you gotta know how to do both. That's what's important, and you gotta be comfortable at both. All right, that's the key ingredient. The other key ingredient is that you learn how to tail whip and bar spin the same direction. For most people, they'll learn how to do a tail whip and then they'll learn how to bar spin the same direction. If you're weird like me, you will learn how to tail whip and then you'll learn how to bar spin the opposite direction. If that is the case for you and you're just entering into multiple scooter trick variations, I would suggest clicking on how to rotor whip because that'll be easier for you. But for the people out there that naturally learn how to bar spin and tail up the same direction, or if you just want to challenge yourself and just learn this trick, that's what you got to know how to do for a full whip. You got to learn how to bar spin the same rotation as your tail whip, because that's essentially what a full whip is. You gotta know that, okay? The first fundamental thing you gotta understand is your mindset towards the trick. You have to classify this trick in your mind as its own unique trick. You cannot classify this as a tail whip and a bar spin together. You have to classify this as its own separate trick. If you classify it as a bar spin and a tail whip together, it's just gonna get you confused in the long run because that's 2 tricks. If you can think about it as one trick, it's gonna make it a lot simpler. The way that you start thinking about it as one trick is really understanding the motion of how all of it comes together. And what I've found from doing this trick for so long is it all comes down to the initiation of separate parts of this trick so everything comes together at the end. What I mean by that is you need to initiate the tail whip before the bar spin. You can naturally bar spin a little bit faster than you tail whip, so instead of starting the 2 at the same time and completing the bar spin first and then going to catch the tail whip, you want to have both tricks end at the very same time. So what that looks like in my head is I essentially like to do a 1/3 of a tail whip to 1/4 of a tail whip and then initiate the bar spin. If I throw both of them at the same time, I feel like the scooter just kind of goes out of balance. But if you initiate the momentum of the tail whip, really get it going, and then put the bar spin into it, I find that the whole trick just comes around. The deck is what carries the momentum in the trick. The deck is what carries the weight. Like, you got to think about where that piece of metal is going. That's going to carry the bar spin. So you got to learn how to initiate the tail whip, because if you try to initiate the bar spin first, it's just going to throw off all the momentum of the entire scooter. So you need to do the initiation of the tail whip first. And what I like to think in my head is 1/3 of a tail whip and then bar spin. It might not always be exactly 1/3 of a tail whip. You probably do the bar spin a little bit earlier, but just to give yourself that time in your head to space it out, I like to tell myself 1/3 of a tail whip, just for my own mental sake. We have to find a spot where you feel comfortable tail whipping. And personally, I prefer banks for tail whips. And the reason why is because I feel like when you're coming out of a bank, you have to do less counter effort to get the scooter back to the ground. On a quarter pipe, you get shot so up in the air that you have to do all this work to center back out. I feel like doing tail whips out of banks is just a little bit easier, especially for learning full whips. So once you find a spot that you feel comfortable doing your tail whips out of, it is now time to start implementing what I previously told you about doing tail whips, but initiating a bar spin once the whip has left your feet. Once you start just attempting to put a bar spin into it, the trick will start coming around. I swear that you just have to try. That's like the biggest thing about this trick is really just trying. This trick can get scary though, because there is a point in the trick where you are not holding the scooter at all. It's literally just levitating beneath you, and it's your responsibility to wrap everything together and land it. And that's why this trick can be kind of scary. But once you get over that hurdle and once you kind of grasp that concept, this trick is going to be really awesome to do. Full whips are a fantastic trick because they're really just a replacement for a tail whip. So really, anywhere that you do a tail whip, you can essentially do a full whip once you get the technique good enough. It's also a really awesome trick too because it is the building block of so many combinations. So commonly I see people doing variations with full whips, with finger whips, with all sorts of tricks, but they always include a full whip because it is a good momentum initiator, and it's awesome to start applying into combo tricks, and it'll make your bag that you have that much more cool and diverse. So the foot placement of this trick, well, is essentially just what a tail whip foot placement is. I like to be in a comfortable stance. Put your feet where you feel comfortable tail whipping because that's going to be the most important. So there is actually two variations of a full whip. There's one that is the tail whip variation, and then there's also the heel whip variation. And essentially what that comes down to is one directional rotation versus the other directional rotation. But the thing is with this trick is you have to learn everything that the full whip was, but the opposite way. And what that essentially means is a opposite bar spin and a heel whip. If you naturally bar spin that direction, well then you just gotta learn a heel whip. Fortunately for me, I tail whip and bar spin opposite directions, so both full whip variations included an unnatural and a natural component. So that is why I'm able to do both, I feel like, so well. With that aside, let's learn how to full heel. Learning the full heel is just as versatile as learning the full whip. There's so many places it can be implemented. Basically anywhere that you do a heel whip, you can start doing a full heel. It is amazing for combo tricks. So the most important key to learning full heels is understanding the momentum of the heel whip. The heel whip is what's going to carry the motion of the scooter around, so you gotta have good heel whips. When you're doing a full heel, you really want to do a heel whip, let the heel whip go a quarter to a third of the way around, and then initiate the bar spin. You might initiate the bar spin a little bit earlier, but for your own mental sake, you want to just tell yourself a fourth to a third. This is going to allow the heel whip to really get some momentum going before you add in the bar spin, and that's how you're going to make the whole trick one fluid motion. So foot placement on the full heel I think is a little bit more critical than on the full whip, and the reason being is because I find that it's a little bit harder to initiate momentum with a heel whip and keep it underneath you than it is with a tail whip. So what I like to do is I like to put my feet in the position of me doing a double heel. The reason that I say double heel is because I need to have a little bit more power in the double heel than in just a singular heel whip. So I like to do a little trick. When I do a double heel, I like to put my foot up against my fender so I can really kick off of it and initiate that spin. If you don't have a fender, same rule applies with a brake, but fortunately for me, I got a sweet tilt deck, so I got a cool fender on here. The full heel is going to be that same foot position. I like to keep it right there, really initiate the momentum of the heel whip, and then that's going to carry it with the bar spin. Back at the bank. And the bank is my personal favorite spot to do a heel whip on, so that's why we're here. It doesn't really matter where you like the bar spin, it's all where you like to heel whip. Find your favorite heel whip spot, and that is going to be the spot where you're gonna do your first full heels ever, because it's just the easiest location. Alrighty guys, well there's my tutorial on how to full whip. I hope my recommendations helped you in your venture in the conquest of greatness, and I know full whips are one step of the way there, so I hope this tutorial helped you learn. So something to keep in mind with this trick is to not compare yourself to others. Some people will learn full whips before they learn bar whips or whip bars, and that's just because people are different. So if you're somebody who learns full whips first, well, congratulations. If you're somebody who doesn't mean anything really. It just means that there's other tricks out there that you find easier. Do what you think feels good on a scooter, because that is the biggest key to ultimate success. If you just follow what feels good, I guarantee you're gonna have as much fun as possible. I really hope the tips in this video helped you learning full ups and full heels. If you guys have any questions, please comment them down below. If you guys are like me and naturally bar spin and tail whip opposite directions and you want a rotor whip tutorial, well, click the cards up here and there will be a rotor whip tutorial taught by yours truly. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to go to undialed.co. Make sure to check out OUTLIT, because it is the greatest scooter contest and you guys should definitely be there. We have one in Austin, Texas on September 3rd, so make sure you guys go check that out. Anyway, we love you guys and we will catch you in the next video. Peace out.